last video, my mom and I explored the ancestry and parentage of my great-great-grandmother Alice Marie Wilson. Her parents were George A. Wilson and Charlotte Hamilton. Along with family Bible records and her obituary, we took every fact that we could find on Alice in order to find out where her parents came from. Our search began at the State Asylum in Bartonville, Illinois, where Alice spent her final 2 years of life. When we got there, it had been torn down. Our search continued looking for any signs of her parents, even through her siblings. All we found was more tragedy. Like when we found the death certificate for Alice's sister Hattie, who had died of an arsenic poisoning from a self-induced abortion. Despite not finding what we were looking for, we still had one hope, and we weren't ready to give up. Passed down from a distant relative of Alice's named Mary Boyd, there was a ledger that had survived the ages. In it were names of people that we could begin to research to try to make a connection. One of those names was William E. Hamilton, that shared the family name. I couldn't quite figure out just how, but I knew there was a connection between Alice's mother Charlotte Hamilton and William Hamilton. I decided to create a second tree called the Hamilton tree in order to document all that I had found. First, I looked up William. From William's 1930s obituary, I was able to find that his father's name was Connolly Hamilton, an Irish immigrant who came here at the height of the potato famine. He married a woman named Sarah Smith, an English immigrant, and began their family soon after moving to central Illinois. Thinking perhaps that Connolly could be Charlotte's father, I began looking into Connolly's children. His firstborn son was named Alfred, and I was able to track him all the way through from birth until death. No connection there. Next, I began looking into Connolly's daughter, Rebecca Hamilton. I could only find a little bit of information on her, first in the 1860 census and then in the 1870 census. It was then that it appeared that she couldn't be found any longer. The mystery had deepened, and it was time that we went to go find clues in the actual historical records once and for all. Even my daughter Faith was becoming intrigued. 3 generations of Hamilton descendant women took off with our research in tow. We were headed to the Eureka County Courthouse since so many in the Hamilton line ended up in that city. Specifically, we were looking for the marriage record of George Wilson and Charlotte Hamilton.
It was a little frightening.
What are we looking for, Mom?
This is a very old store, if you notice, in this new elevator. Not.
After approaching the clerk, we caught a break. We found the marriage record of George and Charlotte, and there was a hint, Charlotte R. We officially had a middle name. Presenting the marriage record of her great-great-grandparents to my mother was emotional. No one had seen it for over 130 years. Our next stop was Springdale Cemetery to see if we could find Charlotte's grave.
Hi, baby.
There's really only one place to stop to eat on the way, Emo's.
Come back, come back.
Well, we just drove into the cemetery and we saw a deer. And our last cemetery visit, the deer was the sign of luck, but this one was eating a dead walnut tree, so I don't know how lucky that's going to be.
There's a woodchuck right there. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, that's cute.
Wow. Boy, if we can't find it now,
She's under as R. Wilson.
There you go. Well, what do you know? Thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good week. Good luck. Boy.
R. Wilson.
So, Conley then really is what we've wondered all the time.
Maybe.
That I'm almost certain of it now, Becky.
Because he has Conley has a daughter, Rebecca Wilson, that I couldn't find anywhere else, that was born right when she needs to be. If she's listed in the friggin' cemetery as R. Wilson, maybe she's Rebecca Wilson.
Yeah.
Rebecca Charlotte, or Charlotte Rebecca. Look at Faith. Hi, Faith.
Into the cemetery we went to find Miss R. Wilson. Hopefully the dates matched up.
Crap, I found it. I was looking at the stupid map wrong. But there she is. March 30th, 1852. Yep. December 24th, 1882.
The same dates in Alice's family Bible.
The W-I-L-S-O-N. And it looks like up here it says E, wife of O-F. Here's an A. And I can't, it's chipped right here, so I can't even.
Well, I'm going to bring a paper tomorrow.
Wow. So after a rubbing, it would say wife of G.A. Wilson. And then it does say something down here. And I can't see what it says.
The 135-year-old stone was so faded, but it looked as if the bottom said the word mother in addition to something else. I tried pouring water on it to see if that would help, to no luck.
We did it. We found her. Maybe she's crying too.
Our hearts were full as we realized we were probably the first family members to have been there in over 100 years.
Yep. That little nugget. We did it.
Yeah.
For my mother, it was more than emotional.
It's right out there.
Yeah, so Grandpa is over there
Yep.
somewhere.
So let's go find Grandpa.
When we finally found the lot of Charlotte's husband George and Alice's father, we were saddened to learn that he did not have a headstone. Nonetheless, one of our mysteries had actually been solved. The middle initial R on Charlotte's marriage record did actually stand for Rebecca. This meant that Connolly was actually Charlotte's father, the Irish immigrant. When I got home that evening, I realized I no longer needed two separate trees. I could officially add Connolly as Charlotte's father and Alice's grandfather to my tree. As the branches on the tree spread on the page, I felt a security inside, knowing that I had found something that had been lost all those years ago.